Hi Heritage, welcome to week 20 of your timeline cards. This week we are on cards 134 through 140. The first card this week is Australia becomes a Commonwealth. So the sign for Australia, you take your thumb and your middle fingers together, and this makes kind of the face or the sign, an Australian sign for kangaroo. So to make the sign, you jump and you kind of flick your fingers. You can do that twice. So that's the sign for Australia. So Australia becomes a Commonwealth. They came under governmental control of England. So Australia becomes a Commonwealth. The next is the Mexican Revolution. You're going to take your three fingers from Mexico and you're going to trace kind of like a mustache coming off. So the Mexican, and then for revolution, remember we make our two R's and one R goes around the other R. Mexican, so Mexican Revolution. Then we have World War I and President Wilson. So for World War I, we're going to do W, W, and 1. World War I. And the sign for president, you start above your head and you come out like this. President Wilson. And for Wilson, sometimes people will sign, they will kind of trace the shape of his glasses. So President Wilson, or you might just do a W for Wilson, whichever you prefer. So we've got World War I and President Wilson. The next card is Lenin and the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. So for Lenin, we'll do an L, and then we'll do our sign for revolution, Bolshevik Revolution. And then Russia, remember, you can't quite see, but at your hips, you just put your hands here at your hips for Russia. So Lenin and the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. Next we have U.S. evangelist Billy Graham. So for that one, we're just going to point to the corners of your lips, and it comes out. He was a preacher, and so this is kind of the sign that you use for that, for preaching. So U.S. evangelist, and then B for Billy, and a G for Graham. So Billy Graham. Next we have modern period of the arts. The sign for modern is just to come straight down. And this period of the arts was characterized by individual thought and kind of random works of art. So the sign for random is to take your two hands, you face them together, and you kind of just circle around each other. So we've got modern period of the arts. And the last card this week is the Great Depression and the New Deal. So remember, our sign for great is this, but it was a time of depression when the country was struggling. So we actually, for Great Depression, we do our great pointed down. So you're going to do that twice, the Great Depression. And then for the New Deal, you're going to lay your hand out, and then kind of like you're dealing out cards, you're going to deal them out this way. The New Deal was when Franklin Delano Roosevelt was president. During the Great Depression, the government became heavily involved in restoring the economy of the United States through different programs. And so that's what the New Deal is, and that's the sign. So those are the cards for this week. Let's just run through them one more time so you've got them down. We have Australia becomes a Commonwealth, the Mexican Revolution, World War I and President Wilson, Lenin and the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, U.S. evangelist Billy Graham, the modern period of the arts, the Great Depression, and the New Deal. And that's it. Hope you guys are having a great week. Have fun practicing.